You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got a lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, my name is Wyatt Milam, and I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home in Canova, you will find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at Par-Mar. There are literally hundreds of Par-Mar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Par-Mar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Par-Mar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
And if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hello and welcome, Mountaineers. I'm the Wolfman Dale Wolfley, and this is the WolfMan's Call. It's May 16th. Yep, it's Tuesday, and that could mean only one thing. I told you it was going to be Bo Orlando Day. That's right, Bo Orlando, 10 years in the NFL, 1988 team captain for the team that played for the national championship. We got him today. We're really excited. And also from the Mountaineer Brotherhood celebration, we have Major Harris from last week. Hey, Kelly McCourt, you're always there, Kelly. We'll put you on up, buddy. Good job, man. And so getting back to it, Major Harris, just great. Yesterday we had Daryl Talley on. His name was on the stadium. Major Harris is on today. Of course, it's back from a few weeks ago with the Country Roads Trust that hold the celebration thing. And we had the Davison brothers. It's just so cool, man. So many good things going on. The WVU football team is adding more pieces to their team. Hopefully it's the ones that they need to be successful. We got some guys coming on like tomorrow. Let's talk about tomorrow. I got Aaron Beasley, Killer Bees, man, coming on. And he's been nominated for the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame. Well, I'm just so excited for him. I was a graduate assistant coach here when Bees came on, and him and Logs and C. Manuel and Van, and God rest his soul. But that secondary was really tight. They really were awesome and quality people, and I just loved it, man. Loved it. And of course, we're going to have Tommy Robsock tomorrow as well. Now, Tommy, he played for the Raiders, offensive lineman. He was a few years behind me. He's from Berwick, just like Bo Orlando is. You're going to see it a little later with Bo. And Tommy, he's kind of a nuthead. Love him. But he's got a son that's 6'6", 285 pounds. His name is Anthony, and he's a good-looking young man. He's going to be a senior, I believe, and he's going to be 2024. And he's had a lot of schools recruiting him. And mainly the big ones here, the Power Fives, are the ones I want to talk about, because Tommy spent this whole spring taking Anthony around, and it was really cool because Tommy's going to be here and tell us, how does WVU stack up to the other schools? Syracuse, Maryland, right? Penn State, and Virginia Tech. And so getting the schools like that, Pitt, we don't want to talk about Pitt, but you got to go. No matter what, you still got to go, and you got to see what avenues are open to you when you're talking about a full scholarship. And an exciting thing has come about. I'm really kind of jacked up to tell you about this. This is something that just came about today. And we got the call. And next week at the Greenbrier, they're having the Game Changer. And what the Game Changer is it is about benefiting opioid prevention and substance misuse among the West Virginia youth. It's a big deal. It's obviously something that, we're all proud to be taken a part of and excited. And I don't know why that's not working right there, but let's try it again here and see why that is not doing that. Come on back. There you go. Okay. We'll do that. And again, we got Roy Williams is going to be a guest. So here's the deal. We're going to go down to the Greenbrier, and that's the WolfMan's Call. And so next Wednesday, we'll have a show Monday and Tuesday of next week. But next Wednesday, it won't be till 6 o'clock when you see the likes of the politicians such as Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Capito. And of course, you're going to see some great coaches, football coaches will be there. Anthony Becca here is on the list. You got Coach Cam Huff from Marshall. And we have like 3 or 4 West Virginia coaches. This is game changer. This is so big. We're raising money, and now I'm included in this, so this is cool. But we're raising money to help our youth with opioids and substance misuse. I mean, is there anything better than that? Honestly, is there anything that we could do that has more worthy cause than that? I don't think so. I really don't. And, so getting back to that, I really am far. Hey, so again, it's 6 o'clock next week is Wednesday night. So we're going to change the time. That's what I love about this. We're going to move on down, right on down to the Greenbrier. And then at 9 o'clock in the morning, there's a big scramble tournament. And we're going to have a lot of guests, a lot of football players, a lot of, I guess, what you call celebrities. And we'll get there and interview them and we'll see what they think about this whole game changer. It's last year. It was Brad Paisley was the chair speaker and the chief speaker. And the year before, it was Nick Saban. That was the original, the first one. And this is Game Changers. This is fundraising. And this is a huge, huge task that West Virginians have to worry about, especially with our youth and our adults as well. And, of course, this year it's going to be basketball coach Roy Williams. Wow, that's really exciting. So that is all next week. And then, of course, tomorrow I told you that we got Tommy Robsock and Aaron Beasley. And then on Thursday this week, jumping around a little bit, but guess what we have? Yes, we have it. Jay Paternal is coming on. Coached 17 years with Penn State. He is on the board at Penn State. And it doesn't get much better, man, because this guy knows Penn State football. He knows Happy Valley. And I think he's got some things to say about this team. So at least we know if we're going to head up there and do a doozy, make it a doozy, and we're going to know what we're in store for sure at WVU. And with that being said, let's keep on moving on here. And I have Major Harris coming up here. Before I get into that, I want to say something, and I think it's really important. When I asked the question, and the question of the week is WVU football winning the transfer portal? Okay, that's a question mark. I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying they're not right now, because I think it's still 60 to 70%. But are they winning? I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're thinking, man. It's like people are kind of timid to say what. Speak your mind, man. You know what? If everybody knew what was going to happen, they'd all have their crystal balls. We don't all have our crystal balls, and we don't know what's going to happen. So the question is, and the good discussion that it is, are they winning? Can they do what they want to do? And what I've said before, a hint, is if they want to take these guys that are not Power 5 guys, but they think that they're capable to play at Power 5 level, they have to develop them and get them ready. And I believe that sincerely. And I believe that it can happen. Absolutely. So the Mountaineers, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, because nothing's ever easy, but you have to get ready, man. You have to get it going. Okay. So with that being said, now let's go ahead and let's move on to the Mage. This is from the Mountaineer Brotherhood football celebration. And whenever you can hear from Major Harris, it's a great time, and it's a worthy time of your listening. And welcome back to a Mountaineer Football Brotherhood celebration. I'm the Wolfman. This is Tommy Lopez, Tommy too. And we have a really special guest right now. It's the Mage.
Oh,
It's not
the
even
Mage.
Major, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
You doing good?
Yeah. Yep.
So you came on here and said you want to talk about your car.
Oh, no.
All right, you go to the shop and all that. No, you want to talk about that? Okay, let's talk about something that you really like. Let's talk about your golf game. Where are you at right now?
You know what's getting better? You know, it's funny because I'm learning new things about golf, but I'm getting older. I'm like, damn, I wish I would have knew this 5-10 years ago. You know what I mean? But it's coming along.
Well, it helps when you play every day.
Yeah. But it's funny, but it's like little things that I'm learning now that I really didn't know before. I'm hitting the ball a little bit farther now than 10 years ago.
Why?
I think set up and just the way your posture, head position and stuff like that. It's a lot of little things.
We're gonna see you on the Masters tour.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. You're getting ready for it.
Hey, I'm just hitting the ball farther in the woods now.
We're gonna get you. So listen, part of that, we got a new golf facility that the golf team's building at Pete Dye down in Bridgeport. And I know you do a lot of work in the community. You're in West Virginia a lot, working with businesses, and you like coming back here. So you spend a lot of time in the state, man. Tell us about that a little bit, man.
Oh yeah, it's always good. I call it home. Coming back home. When the just like getting together, seeing guys you ain't seen a year, 2 years, come down here. Last 2 years I didn't see Daryl Talley more than I ever seen him. You know what I mean? So it's a big thing, because when he played, I remember watching him play and then actually meet up with him and see him and talk to him and things like that. That's big.
Yeah,
that's
he's
good,
a
man.
Cleveland guy.
Yeah.
You're a Pittsburgh guy. Right? Now, okay, so you brought up Daryl Talley, maybe because either he's next to come after you or because his name is on the stadium wall. Man, we got to go back to that because there's two of you that were entered the last couple of years on that wall. Tell me this. How does it feel, man, when you see that up there? I know you've always credited everybody else except yourself. 2 years later, how are you feeling about it now?
Well, you know what? I try not to get caught up in it. You know what I mean? I guess you can appreciate things more as you get older. When you're young, you up and running around, you really ain't settled down. But now that I'm older and kind of settled down, you can appreciate it more.
Now,
Right.
Feels good. Go ahead, Tommy, too.
So listen, I want to talk a little bit more about the Brotherhood. So you stay in touch with all the guys you played with. We've been staying in touch when we come in town and stuff, and we convene, we talk, man. That's part of the Brotherhood of the things that we do with Mountaineer Sports. And tell me, is kind of one of the heads of Mountaineer football. You're one of our elders. You're one of our teachers. Man, tell us what it means to be a Mountaineer football brother, Mage.
Like I said, when you're growing up, and then once you go to college, you really leaving your immediate family, then you going to college. Now that's a new family to you. You know what I mean? Because you at that age to where you becoming like a grown man, and now you meeting guys in that brotherhood. It stays forever. You
Right.
know, definitely.
Then the brothers come in when we're talking, and they're talking, screaming. That's part of being a big family, man.
Yeah,
Everybody coming in
definitely,
together.
yeah.
Man, that's what it's all about, right?
I feel like I'm at your house.
Yeah, well, we ain't got no spaghetti on it. Y'all be quiet. We're trying to talk up here. Come on. See, we just got to yell at each other a little bit.
So, Mage, let's talk, man. You're seeing the Mountaineer team now. It's a different time. Name, image, likeness, different time. It's the whole thing's transfer portal. What's your take on college football right now?
When we play, they talking about it, it's a big business. But now you really get to see it as that. You know what I mean?
Right.
For what's going on, and it's wild because you be like, man, there's a lot of money involved in this. You know what I mean?
How much money you think you lost out on?
I don't know. Well, not everybody. It ain't just one player. Everybody that lost out on.
I like the way you're talking.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
What would have been your product, though? We know you would have made a lot of money. What would have been your product that you endorsed in 1988? What would have been
Oh
yours?
man, I don't even know.
I know it would have been gray sweats, baggy gray sweats given to him when he's playing basketball. Hey, you know what? Let me tell you a quick story about Major Harris. We were doing superstar contests, and we had a dunk contest, basketball. Remember that?
Kind of. You'll get to see now, man.
No, you gotta. So what did you do? How far could you move the basket or the garbage can out? Gray garbage can, about so high, and then you would go ahead and dunk it and do a spin. Remember that?
Yeah, but what? To be honest, you gotta got to jump over the can anyway. So you by placing it out there, it makes it seem like more dramatic. But really, it's just, you know, now what's impressive when you see the guys jumping over the cars and stuff, you know what I mean? Because they got to hang in the air a little bit more.
Well, you know, Daryl Prue, as you know, Prue man, right? Hall of Famer for WVU basketball. He says that you could have played Division I basketball.
You know, I was all right. It's hard to say. You know what I mean? It's really hard. You know, the one thing when I look back on my basketball career, I wasn't a great foul shooter. Now that I'm older, it's just like with the golf thing. I can shoot free throws better, but back then, you know what I mean? I missed a lot of free throws.
It happens. So I want to talk recruiting with you for a minute. So today, now in the environment that we got, you're a great example of someone who had success at WVU. You stayed involved in the community, and you're one of the most loved people ever in the history of our football program and in this state. So as we talk to recruits about coming into WVU, tell us what it's like to be here your whole life and be loved and be a part of a family forever in West Virginia.
Well, you know, like I said before, once you leave home and go to college, you take on the second family. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've been out of school, over 30 years. I mean, and I'm seeing guys, they coming back with their families, grandkids and stuff like that. And it's funny, you remember guys more from college than guys you really grew up with because it's really later on in life.
Absolutely. So I want to know, what was your favorite play? We know we all got the Penn State run, all that. What was Major's favorite play? What's your most memorable play?
You know what? When I look back on it, you know, the thing I enjoy just the wins and just hanging out. You know what I mean? Hanging out with the guys after the game, going to practice. That's really the thing I probably miss the most, just the camaraderie of being around all the guys.
You remember the bus rides?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if we lost, we couldn't have any fun,
Yeah.
right? If we lost, well, if we won, what was your favorite thing you used to do?
Oh, man, on the way back, it'd be like a nice little party on the bus, guys telling jokes and stuff like that.
What was your favorite joke? Do you remember?
Oh, you know, it was so many. You know, man, we had so many jokes.
You remember Gilmore?
Oh, yeah.
Gilmore, what did he say? You said when he's in Little League, he used to wear one of those silver garbage cans for a helmet.
Well, he did have big head, though. Yeah, he had a big head.
All right, Mage, God bless you, man. Love you. Thanks for coming. You are the major. Golly, man, it was a privilege for me to block for you and sometimes miss blocks. Because you wouldn't be as good if you didn't have to avoid some of that stuff.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, so it's all good. Thank you, Major. Thanks for coming by. We'll see you tonight, all right?
Okay, thanks. Thanks for having me.
God bless. And now,
Appreciate
Go
you,
Mountaineers.
Mage.
we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the number one running back of all time, Mr. Avon Coburn. Oh, yeah, the Major. I mean, you just not have joy when you hear and listen to the Major. There's a guy that, as you know, if you want to talk about NIL and missed opportunities, name, image, and likeness, Mage missed so much of that. You know, you could say Pat White too, and you could go down the list for those special guys that really stood out. Steve Slayton, you know, the great running backs, Avon Coburn. But boy, I look at Mage, and he's just a happy guy, a great representative for WVU and that College Football Hall of Fame and Consensus All-American. You know what? It was a special cat. Blocking for him, I'm just going to tell you, it was a true honor. And like I said, sometimes it was tough because he'd be running. Sometimes you weren't sure where he was going to set up or where he was going to go. Not that I didn't sometimes initially make him move to begin with some blocks, or miss blocks. But you know what? Mage was incredible, and playing with him on the same field was an honor. And he was that kind of top dog. Okay, so let me ask you the question. Not getting that much feedback. Is WVU football winning the transfer portal war? Write in. Let me know. Tell me what you think. Let's get a discussion going about it, or not, because I always got a ton of things we can show. Because I always got Mountaineer Brothers, always got everything going on, and this is certainly no difference as I am pulling up. What's the next thing? Oh, I know what the next thing is. Yeah, we're going to have to go here because it's a sponsor that I love, and that's Artisan Grange Company. It's the hemp dip. For all you guys, man, stop kissing your girls with that nasty nicotine and tobacco. right? It's all in your teeth, man. It's all kind of disgusting. Your breath smells like your dog when he gets out of the lake, that wet dog smell. So get Arson Grange hemp dip. It's wolfmandip.com. Go right to it, man. Go to wolfmandip.com and get your can of hemp dip. It's good. It's 2,700 years of the Eastern Asian over there of them using it for remedies, and it stops you from craving for nicotine and tobacco. And it helps. It's for real. I never craved it when I got on it. Got off the tobacco. Got off. It's nasty, man. Nasty, 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 and it doesn't cause cancer. So Arson Grange Company, you know it. Good stuff. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to head into this Bo Orlando. But let me set it up a little bit with Bo because he's such an awesome dude. And the greatness that he was. Now, he came from Berwick, PA, and Berwick was a small high school, small town, but they've had a tremendous amount of football success under their head coach then, George Curry. And we had great Mountaineers. Kurt Keel started out. We had, of course, Bo, and then we had Jake the Snake Coucher, Charlie Fedorko, the wide receiver, the Flash, baby. Yeah, and of course, Tommy Robsock will be coming on tomorrow. But these are all Penn State guys. Like, they grew up around Penn State. They know the lore of Penn State, and they played against Penn State. And I want to make sure that you understand is that Bo's going to talk today about going in there. He hates Penn State, as you'll see here shortly. But this is a really great conversation with a legend, man. 10 years in the NFL. Bo, he's back at Berwick as the AD, and now he's the honorary chairman for the Big 33 game between Pennsylvania and Maryland. So stay tuned and listen up to the Bo Man. Mountaineer Nation, you can see I've got a special person right here, and that, of course, is the original Italian stallion, as I call him, and that would be Joseph Bo Orlando. All these years we've been brothers, man. I never knew your name was Joseph to begin with. It was always Bo. It was always B. That's what it was.
That's it's always good to hear from you. You're one of the few that call me the Italian stallion, so I know it's Big D is coming through. But it's been a while. I know Dale and always our great memories from there and the close friends we had. And I'm doing good. I'm doing real good.
Yeah, we're gonna get into what you're doing now because I think you're doing some really cool stuff. But let's take it back, man. Let's kick this back and start it off right. You came from Berwick High School in Pennsylvania there, a smaller town, but a town of real pride in their football program. Right. And you were a quarterback, and you came to WVU. Was it Don Neal's decision to make you into the Italian strong safety, or what's the deal?
Well, I of the 5 visits I took, basically I was going for defenses. They were going to take me as a defensive back, and back then and even now, like they take you as an athlete. I was soaking wet, 155 pounds, but I can run. I was running high 4.4s, and I was really, really quick, and so I had to put some meat on my bones. But I knew that I wasn't going to be quarterback. I was an option quarterback. I was a running quarterback in high school, and I knew the writing was on the wall. Ole Miss was the only one. University of Mississippi is the only one that recruited me as a quarterback. So I'm glad that Coach Dillon or whoever made the decision not to put me at quarterback kind of worked out for me.
Yeah, it sure did. What was it, 9 years in the NFL, Bo?
10 years. I spent a year on developmental staff, so it's I call it just 10.
Hey, double digit, brother.
That's
all
right.
the more better for the
That's
retirement. Right. All right, so why WVU?
I visited Ohio State, Maryland, Boston College, and when I went there, we've talked. I obviously know where I'm from, and you've probably even been here with Chaz and our other guys. But it's a small. Grew up in a small town with a lot of tradition in football and a lot of sports pride. And when I went out to my visits, when I went to West Virginia, I just they were like my boys from home. They were just real simple and great guys, and that's what I'm still all about. And great relationships and family. Obviously, I come from a huge Italian family, and that means a lot to me. And I felt right at home. You don't want to visit it there.
Did they have pepperoni rolls back then?
Yes, they did. And I was like, being full Italian and coming from a very strong Italian family, I never heard of pepperoni roll. So I was kind of a little skeptical at first, but I grew to like them, especially at Loaf's. Loaf's had the best there.
So becoming a safety at West Virginia University, when did you know that you belonged? Have you always thought that, or when did you know, like, hey man, I can do this and I can do this well?
Well, not really, because when I came there, I was 155 pounds, and was always strong in a weight room, but I was very, very light, and I remember having my bags packed once or twice. You know how every big time athlete comes in there, thinks they're gonna solve the world in there and be the next big star. I knew when we were running full bag drills and strong safety drills, and your brother comes up with his face painted, and they have one cone over there and one cone 10 yards apart, and we're going to meet in the middle for taking on the fullbacks. And I was like, man, maybe this isn't for me kind of thing. But I had a lot of and we'll get to talk about the 88 team, but I had a lot of good friends on there, and I think we talked a few guys off the ledge, including myself, and because it wasn't all roses through our whole career, but I'm glad I did. And those guys are, and all you guys are my closest friends. And I had nothing but great times in WVU.
Yeah. That's the truth, Bo. And so let's get to 88 then. You're the team captain. You were a first team All-American. You were drafted 6th round to the Oilers that year. So just all these good things coming, but let's start off the 88. Did you know that this team was going to be special? Beto Cook knew it in the summertime, but did you know it?
We had 28 fifth-year seniors, and back then, I mean, it was ethnicity, no black, white. I mean, we were all real close. I mean, CT, Willie Edwards, like we were just really, really close off the field too, and we always we got along, and that was pretty rare to have 28 fifth-year seniors. So we knew we were pretty good when we were coming through, and we used to scrimmage. I guess the varsity at that time was really no JV varsity, but the upperclassmen, and those guys knew that there was a tide changing, and we had some really good athletes, and we were destined to be pretty good. So we didn't know, national championship wise, but we knew we had a chance to go undefeated and be pretty damn good.
Yeah, I was talking to the other team captains with Coke and Destroyer. Of course, just so everybody understands, I was a sophomore on this team. So I'm very connected with you guys in the whole experience, but I want to see it from a captain's point of view.
Right.
And when I say this to you, Destroyer and Coke, we're talking about that, although we had won a couple games, it was the Maryland game that really was the turning point of that 88 season. And they had their reasons for it, but would you agree to that, number one?
Absolutely. I mean, Maryland was always, it was early in the season that we played them, and they were always an eyesore for us. I mean, we had a tough time with Maryland. It was just such a good battle. And, we beat them pretty good. And we all knew, we looked at ourselves and like, hey, this is, we've always had a tough time, and we're set to sail here. So that was definitely a gaining confidence game.
It was. Now, they also said it because we were actually down until your interception. I believe it was a 52-yard interception or 48. One of those, I don't know if you're crossing or not, but you returned it for a touchdown because we were really down.
Yeah, we were, like I said, we were down, and I think I think that you played with him, and I didn't play with him. So Michael Beasley was playing. So they, like I said, we always had a tough time. They were always big and strong, and that was a big turning point. Like I said, to get a win out of there. Just boosted our confidence big time, because they were just an eyesore for us.
Is there any games that year that really stuck out to you? Your Berwick, your Pennsylvania, we beat Penn State 51-30. Is there any game, besides that one, or is that the game for you?
That's the game, because I still to this day I'm a Penn State hater. I mean, they were probably one of the only schools that didn't recruit me, and everybody around here, it's an hour and a half to Penn State, and everybody and their mother go there, and I can't stand Penn State for that reason. But the sad story is I was my ankle was hurt. I tried to play. I was taping it up, and I didn't play that much. But we absolutely devoured them. And when Mage took off on that broken play, I think it was early in the game and broke like 9 tackles. Went the wrong way, broke like 9 tackles, and we just put them on. That was probably the best feeling for me that I've had at WVU. Just pounded them, because the year before we were in Penn State, and my whole family, I mean, all my cousins, everybody's there, and we had them. I think we had them by like 8 points with like, it was maybe the beginning of the fourth quarter or right in the fourth quarter. And they came back and they beat us on a 2-point conversion. So I almost beat them 3 out of 5 years, but they got us on that game. That was the deciding factor for us. So that would have been a nail in the coffin for me if I could have beat Penn State 3 out of 5 years.
Yeah, I know you would have loved that, man.
Yeah,
man. Let's just say this: we're going to Penn State, and I say we because we're WVU, and that's our school. That's our young brothers there.
Right.
We're going to Happy Valley, bro. Now, back when we played, it was 87,000, something like that. Looked like a big old battleship.
Right.
The student section was right there. Remember that? And,
absolutely.
Just, they act like they're all good kids. Yeah, they weren't good kids. Didn't like them, right? Me neither. But, I'm just trying to prep everyone that's listening right now. Tell us what it's like to go in there. And especially now they got 107, 108,000. It was a tough place to play, man.
Absolutely. I mean, even though, like I said, I was a hater of it. I mean, growing up, it was just all Penn State around here. And, it's impressive. I mean, you go in there, and back then, you didn't see many stadiums of 90,000. I think we played at Ohio State. I think it was my junior or sophomore year. And, but it was quite impressive. And knowing the stature, Penn State was, as you look at teams now, the Alabama, the Penn State, I mean, they're up there in tradition. I mean, they are one of the teams. So, it's quite impressive going in there. So it's almost like not a psych out, but how you go into some state, you go to Ohio State right now, they're riding high. You have to have a different thought path through it, because if half the teams go in there, just like I can refer back to my high school. I lost one high school game my whole career up through 7th grade, but Coach Curry just inbred that winning tradition, like win at all costs. You never give up. And that's how they were. They just had a tradition, and you knew it in the back of your head. So one thing went wrong, if you think in the back of your head, oh, here we go, there's Penn State, they just had an edge on you. So they always had an edge playing at home. And it's, now I don't even know, it's up to 110 or 109. It's an impressive place when they have a whiteout and everything. It really is. It's a tough place to play.
There's no doubt about that. So getting back to the season now, because Penn State was, that was the game for you. Obviously, I could see that just gnawing at your head for a long time until we beat them. But you did go 11-0. We did. And, to go 11-0, what – and as I forget, in high school, I did, until you said about Coach Curry, you had never lost a game. Mm-hmm. What is it that you have to do to be successful where you can go the regular season and win all your games?
I mean, that in college football, and people don't realize, ESPN isn't what it is now. I mean, you didn't know the other side of the country, the SEC. You didn't hear, you only watched the games that were on TV. So, we knew, hell, we had, back then the Penn State, the Boston College, the Marylands. I mean, we had a tough schedule. Syracuse going up into the Dome. I mean, that was a tough place, because the year before our junior year, we had them beat up there, and they beat us on a 2-point conversion, and they went undefeated, and they went to the Sugar Bowl. So coming back to our senior season, we're 10-0. We're playing Syracuse, and it's a little bit of drizzle, and we're going back and forth. And that game there was unbelievable, because when we went undefeated, we went into the locker room. They were announcing I don't know what bowl we're going to. We were singing in there. I mean, we're on cloud 9, and someone came in the locker room. We were probably in there for 20, 25 minutes, and someone said, hey, they want you to take the victory lap. No one is left. So we go out in the stadium and we started on the visitor side and we made a lap like the guys do now. And I swear to God, I couldn't feel my feet. Like I glided all the way around that stadium because I was so, when your hair stands on top of your head, you're all jacked up. We just went undefeated at a major college. We're going to go play for the national championship. I mean, being at West Virginia, because we never had that there, all of us, coming up through. And it was an unbelievable, and I still get chills when and my hair stands up when I talk about it. But going around that lap, it was raining, it was drizzling, everybody had ponchos on, and I mean everybody was going absolutely berserk. So that's got to be one of my top games of all time at the end. Running around there was unbelievable.
It really was, and I can remember just the electricity of nobody leaving. Nobody. Yeah. I mean, it really was full still there.
It was probably, I swear we were in the locker room for 20, 25 minutes. And then, say, hey, you guys got to come out. Nobody left. And I mean, we were like, what? Like we never, did that before. And like you said, that was just from a fan, that's where you started to build for the next couple of years and started to feel, that. And we've always been great fans. I mean, they're the best fans. But I mean, that feeling right there was just unreal.
Yeah, we certainly became of age nationally there that year. Right. So then, go 11-0, and let's talk about Notre Dame in the national championship because honestly, sometimes there's uneven comparison. I really thought that we were comparable, the two teams. I will say this: Notre Dame was legit. They were legit top team in the country.
Absolutely.
I mean, besides us, but they were right there. I mean, everywhere you looked. They went down the line as Tony Rice, all of them. They were really good. What's your memories, Bo, of building up to that game?
It's funny you said that because I Westford, how you and I, we played together for 3-4 years. I mean, West Virginia is very, very special to me. Like I hold that very, very high in all my career and through my NFL and this and that. But I mean, Morgantown's like, I feel like it's my home, and I bleed blue and gold. And I always tell people it's the best decision I've ever made. The most gracious and great people on and off the field, players, non-players. And I have one regret of my whole thing. And as that was not playing a good game, like, not having our full force against Notre Dame because, Mage got hurt. I think Stroya got hurt. Jimmy Gray got hurt. Like, it was just all the things were stacked. And like you said, Wolf, they were loaded. I mean, I don't think they were a good football, but they were loaded everywhere. I mean, they're Notre Dame. I mean, that's another program like Penn State, Alabama. Like, they don't have down years. You know what I mean? And they, now looking at it, of all the guys that were there were unbelievable. I mean, Jeff Alm was there. Like, I mean, they had Stonebreaker. They were just Todd Light was there. Like, but these guys weren't big names back then because, like I said, ESPN wasn't what it is, and the media wasn't what it was. So we knew about Notre Dame's tradition, but we didn't know about Notre Dame until you played them. And they were tough. But I tell you, I still, to this day, and I'm 57 years old, I still to this day have never watched the game on TV.
Neither have I.
I still am not, and I won't watch it. I don't know why. I just have a bitter. That was my only regret, and I will not watch it. And it always sticks to me when someone says, "Hey, you're Notre Dame," and it's funny because Nate Bolkar, one of the linebackers, lives in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, which is not very far from Bethlehem. It's like 20 minutes. So I've become really, really good friends with him. Nate's a great guy. Ned is a great guy. And so I played with him in a golf tournament last year. And we played on the same team with his buddies, and it was fantastic. And we jar each other. So he gave me a Notre Dame golf ball with a Notre Dame logo on it. So I put it on the first tee, I hit it, and I hit it out of bounds. And I never got it back. So when we got to we had 5 guys playing with us. So I got to the first green, and we were playing a scramble tournament, and I had a West Virginia marker. I marked it down there, and we made the first putt. We got a birdie on that hole. So we had to use it every hole because it was good luck. So I I dusted the Notre Dame ball off, but we had to use my thing, and I would let Ned every time. I'd set that baby down for Ned. You know what I mean? But we have good fun. But he's a great guy. But that's a good story for me. You know.
Yeah, that's a great story. And I still just like Notre Dame. Just sorry.
Yeah, me too. He knows it too, and we jar, and he always says, because we do some charity stuff, back here in Bethlehem, and he'll always let me know that he chose me to ring for the national championship. So Penn State and Notre Dame isn't very high on my list. I can tell you that. The day I die.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's go to something that is high on your list, and that is you are now the athletic director for Berwick and I think of the whole school district.
Yes, I about 4 years ago I was approached from some friends that work for the school and asked me if I had any interest of being the head football coach, because the head football coach at the time was he was the head coach and he was the athletic director. And being from Berwick, and I know one coach that was here from 1970 was George Curry, and about George Curry, was just unbelievable man. It was my mentor. He was like a father. He was everything to me, and he was just a mastermind in football. And my first reaction was, absolutely not. I am not following George Curry. I'm not even an inkling of a man that George Curry is. And I've coached for a lot of years, but I just didn't want to do that. So about a week or two went by, and Airhead said, "Hey, do you ever think about being an athletic director?" And I'm like, I had a little construction company. Me and my buddy were small. And they were like, the benefits and blah, 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 and this and that. You're killing yourself. You're in your 50s. And I just thought about it. And I was a sports management major, so I had the thing. So I interviewed, and they gave it to me. And here I am.
Well, okay. So what have you learned as not a coach, but an administrator? I know I was an administrator for like 14 years at WVU. So, I mean, I learned so much that I was like, you can't even apply, coach. So what have you learned the most?
Oh my God. I mean, like you said, my first year I took, I had a secretary who was unbelievable. So she was there for, umpteen years. She knew it. So the second year is the COVID year. They take away my secretary. So I'm on my own, but my secretary goes to the principal, because the principal's secretary retires. So I'm like freaking out. So I go out, I'm like there every day asking her. I have my big notebook, and I'm asking her, how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? I wrote everything down, and I learned how to do everything by myself. I've recently got her back part-time to do my POs and do my thing, but she's like my iron fist there. But I just learned it's a different world out there. I mean, kids are different now. Parents are different. I have to deal with the school boards. You want to talk about being politically correct? I always wasn't, like we talked about, swearing on air or doing this and that. There was a lot to know. I've learned a lot, and it's funny that how I'm so aggressive in my coaching style and everything, and everything we do, we're just very, very passionate, and that's why we were successful. But going to do it at a high school level is a little bit different. You got to watch your P's and Q's, and you got to watch little Joey's feelings, and little Susie's feelings. It's so I've learned how to be politically correct, and it's kind of helped me in my everyday life, kind of cool there. But not that I agree with everything, but I tell my friends that are coaches, or the coaches that I know about situations that are they're younger, like, hey, listen, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to eat your words. You have to keep your mouth shut. You're gonna have to go back to the drawing board, because this is how it is, because there's too many people to have a say in this. Parents, the board members, everything. So it's a different world. It's sad that it's like that, because we grew up in coaching where if you didn't like what the coach said, you hit the highway. You didn't play. You know what I mean? You kept your mouth shut. And it's not like that. And it's very, very hard for me to eat my words and coach and do that right now, because I do help. The only thing I help the DBs, I coach the DBs in football, but I don't coach anything else. But I go to the games, I watch, very observant of watching how they coach, how the parents are, referees. You kind of have to get a whole little, aspect of everything. And very interesting how it is. And just of lately, it took me as I got to learn, I'm just looking at other teams like successful programs, whether it be in baseball or whether it be in basketball, like how does that coach handle, or what do they do? How do, what's so different than them than our athletes, to pick our program up. So that's the kind of point I'm at now. And I was just at a junior high baseball game tonight. I was a little upset of, just the effort of the kids. You know what I mean? I mean, when we, you and I, like, that's the reason I don't play sports these days. I'm 57 years old. Because if I play something, I'm going to win. I can't play half-ass. I'm not just going to go, tiddlywink out there. I mean, I'm going to win because that's the way I am. And me seeing not their attitude, it's like Coach Dillon. You're either all in or you're all out. And that's the most difficult thing for me is being the AD, is seeing some of these teams and seeing the kids' attitudes, because I use everything that I learned through, Coach Curry, Coach Nealon, Coach Dunn, all those guys in my everyday life. It's the fight. Like, how many times have we both been ups and downs? That's why I say life's like a roller coaster. You're up and down. It's the ups that are easy. It's the downs that are tough. It's easy to say I quit or do it. It's hard to climb up that hill, keep fighting. But that's the way we were raised, and that's what we are. And when I see someone that doesn't have that fight in them for anything, I mean? I don't care. It's not about winning the game. It's just about life. You know what I mean? If I don't see that fight in them, I get pissed off.
All right. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Is PC correct, Bo? We used to hit me with as hard as you could with the red.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when they're legendary red heads and stuff. It's so
I still get it. When I get a little fired up, I still a little fly, but I'm a little politically correct.
All right. Well, let's move to something that's really cool, I think. I just read and heard about from the boys, and congratulations to you. Number one, you were I'm just going to let you say it, but I was the honorary chairman for the Big 33 game.
Now they're playing, it used to be Ohio, and it's a thing, but it's actually really neat. I just went to a practice last Sunday, and I mean, my God, the size and speed of these guys these days, I mean, it's ridiculous, and the training, I mean, from when we went there, it was kind of archaic, I think. Now I'm sounding real old, but even before us, the things they do now and the size of the speed of these guys is just unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, so what's so cool about this thing for you now? Because it's got to be. I mean, the Big 33 was I came from New York, and when I came to West Virginia, all the Pennsylvania and Ohio boys, that's what they talked about, the Big 33.
There has been, this stat. There has been at least one Big 33 player in every NFL Super Bowl game since, God, it's been, I'd have to go back like 20, 30, 35 years.
Really?
They have a stat going on. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So, I told those guys at first, I went down to Harrisburg a couple weeks ago. They did the kickoff to everything. And I said, listen, I played, matter of fact, I didn't know, when we were around here, Whitehall wasn't in our league. It's in Allentown. Chris Parker, I used to ride back and forth. Chris, he used to take my car home for the weekend. I would drive home, from West Virginia, and Chris would take it to Allentown and he'd come pick me up, and then I'd, go back home. So I played with Chris in the Big 33 game, and he was my college teammate. And I said, and to further on, I've played with guys in college from the Big 33 game and played against guys and with guys in the pros. So it's just like this big all-star game, this big brotherly thing. And it was really, really special to me. And when they asked me to be there, I didn't think nothing at first, like, hey, you want to be honorary chairman? And I was actually dealing with, my daughter got married up in Vermont, and she had a small wedding up in Vermont. And he called me the Friday I was driving up there for our weekend. And I was like, I wasn't really thinking about it, and I didn't know what it entailed. And when I finally said on Sunday, I'm like, just leave me alone. Yes, I'll do it. It was one of my buddies, and I'll do it. So then the next day, Monday when I got back to work, and the guy called me, he said, do you realize that, how does it feel to be in the same honors with Joe Montana, Ben Roethlisberger, like all these big names? And I'm like, wow, I didn't realize until now. I said, yeah, I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. I said, but the game's been so special to me, and I knew we have a wall at our football stadium, and I think Berwick is in number 3 or 4 of guys of all time playing in the Big 33 game. So it's a huge honor, and I'm very, very grateful for it.
That's awesome, man. And is there anything, Bo, that you think that you've taken from WVU, because this is a WVU thing, that you've taken for the rest of your life with you, bro?
Absolutely, man. I mean, I love, the blue and gold. Like West Virginia, to me, I almost moved back when I retired from the NFL. I almost moved back to Morgantown. I've always been, even when I come now, I never want to leave. And I just think that the most hospitable people, you know what I mean, and it's just great people. I mean, we love our Mounties, but we're very gracious to other teams and respectful. But you ain't gonna have a nicer person. And I'm all about, like I said, I was raised Catholic in a big Italian family, and I'm all about relationships. I don't care who you are and how much money you make or what you have. If you're a good guy, you're a good guy, and you're all right by me. And I treat people the way I want to be treated. And to me, that's the best thing I've taken away from West Virginia. I mean, I just love the people in West Virginia, the fans when they were there, when we were there, from old fans. I love to run into people. Oh, my dad's been a fan for 50 years. I mean, that's very special to me, because that's what I'm all about, is family.
Right on, brother. And we all are all family, and we've stayed it all this time, and come back together, done some great things, some funny things we can't even talk about on here.
There's a lot of I didn't want to go there. There's a lot of things there, but we'll keep that between ourselves.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to say crutches. All right, Brian.
We won't mention his name, Chris. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, listen, Joseph Bo Orlando, man, thank you so much. Congratulations, because I think it's really cool that you are back at Berwick. And for this Big 33, should we get together to come up and support, or what?
Absolutely. I've had a ton of guys that actually have not only from Berwick that I've played with the Big 33. It's got a hold of me and said, "Hey, I'll be there. Guys are going." So I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody. It'd be a pretty special day. Really
all right. God bless you, man. Take care, and have some fun.
All right, Wolfman, it's always good talking to you, buddy. Miss you, brother.
Miss you too, bro. Bye.
Okay, bud. See you, man.
See you. All right. The Italian Stallion, he's really just an incredible guy. Humble, great Mountaineer representative, Bo Orlando. So happy he's back there at Berwick doing what he's doing. And now he's getting that great honor. He mentioned about that Big 33 and how there's been a representative from that Big 33 game in the last 20, 25 Super Bowls each and every year. And I also, Joe Namath was in that game. It was Joe Montana, Ben Roethlisberger, Jim Kelly. I mean, and there's our Bo Orlando. Same type of honorary that these other great football players from that area have done. So that's pretty wild, pretty cool, pretty awesome in my book. And you know what else is pretty wild and pretty cool and pretty awesome? And that's going to be right here with you go ahead and you go to the YouTube channel and you subscribe. That's right. Subscribe on YouTube, West Virginia football, at the voice of college football. Why? Because Wolfman's Call rocks football. Yeah, I added that. Hope you're doing good. What did you pick up there from Bo there? You know what we're talking about? Did you notice the things that you learned from Coach Curry, his high school coach, or Coach Nealon, a Hall of Famer, that they keep going back? And that's, I think, what you're going to see a lot with my Mountaineer brothers, is you got to see these guys where they've learned lessons from their mentors, their previous coaches. And you can go back to Coach Steve Dunlap, that was coaching them there with Bo at the safeties. And, it's just something that's in our football world that we do. I mean, I just want you to know, I want you to pick that up, because that's what you're going to see. It's going to be a common theme when you talk to our players. Major Harris, to go back to Darryl Talley yesterday. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And most important thing I want you to realize, we're talking to Frank Fear yesterday, Jim Carlin, Bobby Bowden, Frank Signetti, all these guys established WVU as a blue-collar football team, a blue-collar football team. And I think that WVU has to remain a blue-collar football team. I mean, do you remember Pat White when he came back against, I think it was UConn, and Steve Slayton was taking a wide sweep out to the field. Nothing was there, came back, and you saw Pat White come in and do a decleater. Knocked him right off his feet, the opponent from UConn. And I want to say that's Pat White, one of our greatest players of all time, if not the Major Harris, Darryl Talley, take your pick. No one's going to get jealous. You pick one or the other over because they're all right there. But go ahead. That's blue collar. Darryl Talley? Yeah, he's blue collar. Major Harris? Yeah, man. You know what? That's a blue collar guy. That's a guy that's not afraid to play football and mix it up. But let me get back to this with Bo. I wanted to get Bo on here. I'll talk about Happy Valley, Penn State. And Happy Valley, Penn State, what's coming. Thursday, we're going to have Jay Paterno. Keep telling you that because I don't want you to miss it because he's really a special cat. I mean, I'm telling you, I guess he's a Nittany Lion cat, but he's pretty special. He's very cerebral, 17 years coaching at Penn State. He's had other years at other places. And then he's also on the radio show where I'm on, full disclosure. And, of course, he's on a TV show weekly for Penn State. I think like 2 million people watch it. That network up there with Tom Bradley, who coached at WVU for a year, but was 40-some years at Penn State. Now, going to Penn State and Happy Valley, Mountaineer Nation, this is what I want you to get at. Bo, it's tough. He didn't like Penn State, but you got to respect Penn State. Because when you walk into that stadium and you can feel it, it's wild. It is wild. So I want to encourage all you Mountaineers that are going, go have fun, enjoy, be respectful, and obviously good Mountaineers. But, man, just appreciate that college football atmosphere because there's something unique, something different there. And they've had an attitude about it for a long time. I can remember both exactly talking about 1987 going in there when we were up. And I can remember that we were right there in 1989 when I was there too. And that stadium was just shaking, man. Just shaking. And the student section, they're out there, they're yelling at you, screaming at you. And it's right there. And you can't hear anything. And that was with 87,000. 87,000. So, Mountaineers, this football team, our WVU football team, has to be ready, has to grow up, has to be mature. There's no time to waste. Now, I'm not going to be able to go ahead and break down any film today, but I will be able to do it tomorrow. And tomorrow, again, what do we have? We have Tommy Robsack. We call him Robber. And Robber is an offensive lineman that it's hard to describe. He's a Berwick boy, just like Bo, just like Jazz. Kind of goons. Bo's not a goon, but everybody else from there is goons because they're goons in the pride that they have. And Tommy's got his boy Anthony. He's going to give us some great stories about what's going on, the competition around the Mountaineers. And, of course, we're going to have Aaron Beasley, who was nominated for the National Football Foundation. So we got a lot going on. And don't forget, just today, we landed going there, the Gamechanger, going down to the Greenbrier Wednesday night for the dinner at 6 o'clock. Roy Williams, a whole bunch of politicians. You got Senator Manchin, Senator Capito. We're going to have guys like Anthony Beck, coaches from Marshall, coaches from West Virginia, all around. So we're going to go ahead and do the dinner at 6 o'clock. That's a special time. Mark it down now so you know it. And then, of course, we're going to go at 9 o'clock in the morning for the Scramble tournament. We're going to be on the number one hole or tee off on the tee box at the old white golf course at the Greenbrier. It's getting cool, man. The WolfMan's Call is just getting started. Make sure you sign up on YouTube. Make sure you follow on Facebook. What a great network I have on Facebook and all those groups that allow me to go out and put this live show out there. And I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for that. And on my Twitter at Wolfley64. So follow it, get behind it, get ready to go because the WolfMan's Call is here for the benefit of WVU football and WVU athletics, but WVU football for sure, and the Brotherhood. And the Brotherhood just keeps coming and coming and coming. And that's what we want. So you understand, we need to be blue collar, old school football, and that's where Mountaineers are going to be successful, and that's where we're going to keep improving and becoming that team, once again, that is known as Old Tough Dogs. And with that being said, didn't get a chance to put our sponsors on there, so we're going to run this out today. But remember this, blue collar, Old Tough Dogs, Bo Orlando, couldn't be any tough. One of the toughest guys I have played against. There's no doubt about it. And I love him, and he's a gentleman, and he's a Mountaineer. Till tomorrow, 3 o'clock. We will see you then. Aaron Beasley, Tommy Robsock, Thursday, Jay Paterno. See you soon.
Dan Cava has the largest selection of new Camrys in the area, and with $1,000 off sticker price, now is the best time to purchase your new Camry. We also have a wide variety of Tundras, some featuring the all-new TRD lift kit. And don't forget, all new Toyotas come with 2 years or 25,000 miles worth of free service from our award-winning service department, which you can schedule online, by phone, or through the Toyota app. Come see us at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock.